Alright, lads, we are back with Adrenaline. It's been a while since I've recorded. And this intro is going to be a bit longer than usual because I kind of need to explain, I guess, the scheduling. Because I don't, well, for this series, because I don't have a set schedule. I try to upload as much as I can. So there was a time where I was uploading pretty much daily for about a week, I think. But so it's the 25th today, just for reference, 25th of July, or 24th in America. So it's Tuesday for me. And I started uni this week. I started uni yesterday on Monday, and that is like the most of Monday gone. And I'm at uni all of Friday. So literally from like 8:30 till 5, I'm at uni, and then I volunteer on a Friday night from 7 till about 10. So there's like no chance I'll get a video out on a Friday, which, as I said, before, for American fans, that's Thursday. Shouldn't have been that hard. Then I've also started a job really recently, and that's 2 or 3 times a week. I'm trying to get 2 now. I just 2 shifts, 1 or 2 shifts, because that uni and all the volunteering I do and this, it is a lot to do. So yeah, basically I should hopefully be uploading I want to say about 3 or 4 times a fortnight. Also, a trend people should probably have been seeing recently, or just since I've been uploading in general, is there's a period from like a Thursday to a Tuesday-ish where I won't upload, which is a good reason. So basically I go to my dad's on a Thursday, and then I come back to my mum's on a Tuesday, and so TEW and all my recording stuff is on the desktop at my mum's computer at my mum's house. And I go over once a fortnight, or to dad's. So that's why once a fortnight for like 5 days, you might get 1 or 2 uploads. So yeah, I don't know, that's just kind of a warning. Don't expect to have an upload every day or every second day during those kind of periods. And honestly, the last episode, which I've pretty much just uploaded after recording this, I'm going to upload it. I think I recorded that about 2 weeks ago, and then I literally pretty much didn't touch the game at all for 2 weeks. Because I have periods where I just kind of not burn out, but like kind of go, I can't book. It's not like a creative block. It's just like I don't feel like booking, I think. And it's nothing to do with the fan interaction or anything, because you guys, the people that comment, you're awesome. And just people that watch are awesome. We've just hit 100 subs, I'm pretty sure. So I want to thank everyone that watches these, because this time last year I was at about 25 or 30, and now I'm at 100. So that growth is amazing. So yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot. And I've completely forgotten what I was saying before. Yeah, it's nothing to do with the interaction. It's just me kind of throwing everything at this game for a period of probably a month or 2, and booking a show every day, and then just having that down period. It's like the wrestling industry. You have peaks, you have troughs, and everything. Except this isn't in terms of creativity. This is just in terms of me sitting down and booking. Anyway, with all that done, I've realised I've been talking for about 5 minutes. So let's start the show. We have 22 segments, and the whole hour of our pre-show is gone. So we are in front of 4,724 people at the First Bank Arena in Colorado, I want to say. We have Mandy Leone defeating Rachel Morgan in 8:24 by pinfall in a D-40 match. It's not awful, but they both have a 36. Mandy improves in performance, which is great. The main reason I tend to have lots of women's matches on the pre-show simply because they're not going to get great ratings yet, at least. But I'm trying to get improvements as well, and Mandy improved, so that's all I can ask for. It would have been nice for Rachel to improve as well, but I'll take it. Next segment is Ayako Hamada and Io Shirai tagging. I think they could be a pretty decent tag team, actually. But they defeat Angel Blue and Raina Pink in 6:47 when Io Shirai won with a moonsault press, and Hamada carried the match, and Angel Blue was the weakest of the match with a 24. Raina and Io had a... I feel like I'm saying it correctly. It's Io. If it's not, please correct me, because I don't want to go around saying Io if it's not right. But anyway, they both have a 34, and Hamada has a 51. Pink improves in performance skills. Would have been nice if these two, Hamada and Shirai, improved, but they're getting a bit of overness from it at least. Next segment is not bad. So Michaela Smith is someone that I just randomly picked up. Well, I didn't pick her up. She's on a one-night deal, but I'm actually considering signing her now. Her uncle is Jake the Snake Roberts, and she has all these other family members that are in the wrestling business, but I think the most important one, like the biggest, most popular one, is Jake the Snake, so that's why I kind of said it. But anyway, she taps out to a sharpshooter from Talia Neidhart, and Talia has a 62. Michaela with a 20. No worker improvements, but, I mean, Talia's at a 62 already. So that's not too bad. I can live without this match having worker improvements. Next segment should be not terrible for where these guys are at, but Ryan Nemeth and the Unbreakable Effin' Machines defeat Robbie E and Red Dragon in 6:45 when Ryan Nemeth defeated Kyle O'Reilly by pinfall with a hot and bothered. Elgin was head and shoulders above everyone else with a 61. Cage had a 46. Nemeth with a 34. Fish with a 52. O'Reilly with a 30. And Robbie E with a 39. But worker improvements. Nemeth and O'Reilly in Rumble Robbie E in Rumble. And Nemeth and Elgin in performance skills. So all good there. D plus 52. And I think we're moving into the main show now. Nope, we've got one more match. We have Andrew Everett defeating Ricochet in 9:53 by pinfall with a 450 press in a really good match. In a C60, that's a really good match for these two, considering I think Ricochet is a mid-carder and Everett is a lower mid-carder. Ricochet has a 58 and Andrew Everett has a 50. No work improvements, but big win for Everett. Moving on. No, okay. I completely forgot that I booked this as well. But so in our pre-show main event, Bad News Stu Bennett does defeat Lashley in 8:18 by pinfall with the Wasteland. That's not done yet. These two don't click, doesn't matter because Lashley's rarely on TV as it is. Stu gets a 64 and Lashley with a 52. No worker improvements. No negatives really. But it was a decent match with C62. But Impact opens with Austin Aries making his way down to the ring with a microphone. And he says, so I've got another shot at Zero Signal. I've got another shot to take this company's top title. I can't talk today, I don't know why. From someone that is too busy looking to represent other countries than representing countries, companies, same thing. Than representing the one that he's world champion of. The one that he is the de facto face of, and that sickens me. There is something everyone should be, but so few people are nowadays, and that is loyal. What Cody is doing is not showing loyalty to the company that gave him another chance. And before everyone calls me a hypocrite because I I know I haven't always been loyal myself, but I'm back here, and I'm not going anywhere. And at zero signal, at zero, and he's cut off by the music of Cody, who then makes his way out to the ring. So B80 is a really good way to start the show. As B minus 75, it's a bit lower, but I'll cop it. But Cody walks out in a suit, laughing. He says, "Oh, stop being so dramatic. Sure, I'm looking at other companies, but I don't like you. I'm in demand. You look at the most in-demand wrestlers today: Kenny Omega, AJ Styles, Kazuchika Okada, and Cody Runnels. Austin, your name isn't on that list. I didn't see New Japan offer you a contract when your old one expired. I didn't see Ring of Honor or anyone else actually try to capture you. The fact of the matter is that I'm one of the most sought-after guys in the history of this business, and no one tells me what to do. Actually, I might just leave to spite everyone, and I'll take this world title with me." So yeah, Cody spitting some truth, or what he thinks is truth. It was really bullshit. B minus 75, the storyline advances. It's a pretty good way to start our show. And we move on into Nick Jackson picking up a win against Ross Von Erich in 4:59 by pinfall with a 450 splash. Ross has a 32 and Nick has a 59. No worker improvements, no negatives at all. So it's not awful, but yeah, it is what it is. Next segment is pretty important. It doesn't do too badly. C minus 56. Andrew Everett makes his way down to the ring for his X Division title match, and Trevor Lee's music hits, but he's nowhere to be seen. But out of nowhere, Lee then attacks Everett with his title and beats down on him before getting up and raising the title above his head. Lee has sent a message, and it seems that the Helms Dynasty are no more. So we can finally turn Everett face after 12 segments. Turn went pretty well. I'll cop that. So yeah, Andrew Everett is now a face, and we are properly moving into Lee versus Everett. We can move on. Oh wow, that probably should have been a lot better. But we see the group of me, Bad News Stu Bennett, and the Midnight Saviors, and I'm distraught, and I'm just like, all right. We saw what happened last week with Magnus. We got to find him. And Bennett cuts in. He's like, "Look, lads, we can find him, okay? Don't worry. Galloway says Impact is his, right?" "Yeah, dummy, he said that last week." And Bennett says, "Well, I just got here, and I'm not ready to let this company go just yet. I say we fight, we find Magnus, and we keep this company where it belongs." And I was like, "So what's the plan?" Bennett says, "Well," and then the camera fades because you can't reveal your plan on live TV. That's just, yeah, it's wrestling. Honestly, he probably should have revealed his plan, but then you guys know what's happening, and it's always good to. It's like I shouldn't reveal everything. You guys are just gonna have to wait. Next. What? Oh, yeah, right. I just realised that, well, I didn't realise now, but before, I still had Conley as an arrogant heel, so we're going to change his gimmick to a fan favourite, above average. I'll cop that. Next segment is... Alright. The segment that was meant to be before this probably is going to be after this. Doesn't matter. Xia Brookside defeats Brandy Rhodes in 6:13 by pinfall with an iconoclasm. E plus 34. It's probably one of their better matches. Xia with a 34. Brandy with a 26. These two have good chemistry. Improvements? No improvements. Bugger. Negatives for Brandy not being able to wrestle. Actually, really just her negative crowd reaction, which is pretty much why she's just jobbing at the minute, because I think the negative crowd reaction is being too over for the skill set that you have, I think. So, yeah, maybe she's just got to get more skill improvements. Yeah, okay, this was meant to be before, but Xia Brookside makes her way down to the ring, decked out in a Bullet Club leather jacket and her new shades. She's the budget Toni Storm. She's walking with a new kind of swagger that we haven't seen before, and she says, "Tonight, my streak will continue on. You line up the knockouts, and I'll just knock them down one by one. So tell me, who will be the next to succumb to the wrestling masterpiece that is Xia Brookside?" So yeah, she's being arrogant. Obviously, we know she wins, so let's just move on into a pretty decent segment. Candice LeRae is at a press conference earlier in the week, but she's asked by a reporter why she's picking a fight with such a dominant champion in Rosemary, and she says, "Why do I go after a dominant champ? Because eventually someone will beat that champion, and that someone's going to be me. I've done it all. I've wrestled all over the world. I've wrestled men and beat them. And the person to defeat Rosemary will become a megastar overnight, and soon enough, people are going to know that I always was and always will be that star." Then another mouse is spazzing out a bit. Reporter asks about her pregnancy and if it will affect her performance. She says, "Obviously, I'm not going to be at 100% physical performance, peak physical performance, but I've got the heart to fill in that gap. It's going to be a challenge, but I love a challenge. Next question, please." The press conference kind of fades out. So it was kind of like a highlight, what's important. But that storyline advances and gains heat. C plus 67 is not a bad rating at all. Next segment is decent for these guys. But James Storm makes his way out to the ring for his match when he's blindsided by Bram, who just comes out of nowhere and hits him with a lead pipe. He wails away at him before he's pulled off by road agents. And he walks away laughing. He's like, "Yep, my job's done. You guys can take me away because I have got one up on James Storm." The storyline advances and gains heat. All good. No worker improvements. No negatives. No worker improvements. Next segment is just a little training vignette. Hendry and Banks are at a gym. Banks is working hard and Hendry is barking out commands. Eventually they stop and Banks and Hendry talk as Banks takes a drink. Trav is looking better than he was before, but will he be able to beat Nick Jackson at Zero Signal? We don't know. Storyline advances, loses heat. Moving on into a decent little segment, but the Miracle Workers are off-site. I don't know, they're probably at Kenny's home or something, and just relaxing. So Bennett and Maria are sitting on one chair together, and Omega is talking about a plan. He says, "So those two want a match at Zero Signal." Well, they've got their match. The Miracle Workers and Sydal versus Ricochet. The Miracle Workers versus Sydal and Ricochet. How's that sound to you guys? And Bennett says, "I'm in, but we gotta win and prove that we aren't fakes. We're the Miracle Workers, and if they don't want to believe, then they will fall." So that storyline advances. I'm going to book that in, and we'll be right back. Moving on into another segment, but we see Sutter and Zack Sabre Jr. in their cages, laughing hysterically like we left them, but they suddenly just kind of stop and snap out of it, and they look serious. And Zack just kind of nods, and Sutter grabs a lockpick out of his trunks. He puts it in the lock and starts trying to pick the lock really quickly. However, he accidentally drops the pick and it just falls just out of reach. And the scene just fades off as Sutter and Zack are just trying to reach for the pick. So yeah, they were trying to play the decay by pretending that they were cracking, but it currently looks like they're not cracking and they're trying to get out. So they've possibly let themselves be captured to try and get Ali out. Maybe they actually did get captured. Who knows? We'll find out later. But the storyline advances and we move on into actually a really good match for Jesse Goddess. He was off his game, which makes sense with a 28. But Adam Cole defeats Jesse Goddess in 5:45 with a GTS. Because Cole has a flying crossbody as his finisher in this game for some reason. So I kind of deleted that and went in and just gave him a ton of finishes. So he's got like the Canadian Destroyer, I think, and the GTS and something else. But yeah, so it's a fantasy game. He adopts the GTS. But Cole came out looking good. Cole with a 72, Goddard with a 28, and everything that Cole touches turns to gold. This is considered gold for these two. Next segment is not bad, but he grabs a microphone after his win, and he says, "You see, Jason, that's how..." But before he can continue, he's interrupted by Jason Jordan, who makes his return tonight. He runs down to the ramp and into the ring, and the two brawl all over ringside for ages before eventually Cole retreats, smirking. These two are in the middle of what looks to become an absolute war that will change both of their careers forever. So the storyline advances. We have Jason Jordan back. He wasn't ever really injured. We just kept him off TV for 2 weeks. And C plus 69 is not bad. Moving on. This also isn't too bad, considering both of them were rated on entertainment, and Eddie's entertainment is shocking. But let's see, no work improvements. But we see these two walking backstage towards the ring, arguing. They're in action next together, but it seems they can't get back onto the same page. They've teamed up again reluctantly, but it looks like that these two aren't going to last long anyway. Storyline advances, and match isn't too bad. But Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards defeat the Future. Nearly said they defeated the Wolves, but no. In 7:27, when Davey Richards defeated Leo Rush by pinfall with a shooting star press. So Edwards with a 72, Rush with a 36, Bennett with a 34, and Eddie with a 68. The storyline advances, but actually loses heat. No worker improvements. And yeah, just weird negatives. Next segment is not too bad either. Probably shouldn't have been this high on the card, but Pete Dunne, who's still only a mid-carder for us because unfortunately I kind of don't have a storyline for him outside of the main storyline that he's in. Like, obviously, Mustache Mountain are involved in the tag title feud pretty much. The number one contendership. So yeah, but anyway, he defeats Chris Hero in 8:01 by pinfall with a bitter end. C minus 57, Hero with a 47, and Dunn with a 55. Dunn improves in performance skills, which is great. Negatives for holding back for both of these two. Dunn's psychology and Hero's inconsistency. Next segment is not bad. Oh yeah, right. I just saw text and I thought it was a angle, but it's not. But great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Roppongi Vice defeat the Motor City Machine Guns in 9:52 when Rocky Romero defeated Chris Sabin by submission with an ankle lock. During the match, we had Aaron Rex run in and attack Shelley. But Roppongi Vice make defense number 3 of their WWA Tag Team titles, which is the Alliance titles that they won from Jay Briscoe and Colt Cabana, who then had won them from Unbreakable Weapon Machines. Both matches that I didn't book. They were both booked by, I think, Ring of Honor. But anyway, so Roppongi Vice have excellent chemistry, which, we know. Shelley with a 78, that's really high for him. Sabin with a 71, Romero with a 72, and Beretta with a 66. These two storylines both advance, and Rocky Romero improves in technical skills. So we move on into an alright, decent segment. But they pick up the win, their debut win here tonight, and they celebrate in the ring when they're interrupted by the Broken Hardys. And, that was not what I wanted to drink. I hate when you drink something and it actually makes you thirstier. Anyway, Broken Matt says, yes, the Vice from Roppongi. Last week you sent us a challenge for a match whose result will ripple all over the cosmos. A match that would be era-defining. A match that would etch the names of the Vice of Roppongi into the history books. And Nero says, and we're here to say that we do accept. and we will make you fade away and classify yourselves as obsolete. They do their delete taunt as Roppongi Vice smile. This match should be epic. The storyline advances and gains heat with a 66 C+. I'll be right back. I'm just going to go book that in. Moving on into... No, not the main event, but this match is not bad. Like, it's not amazing, but it's not bad. But Mustache Mountain defeat the Friday Night Delights in 11:37 when Tyler Bate defeated John Hennigan by pinfall with a Tyler Driver 97. In terms of in-ring work, EC3 was above everyone else, and Trent was the weak link with a 48 and a 75. And EC3 was off his game, so that could have been an 80. Match got the crowd buzzing. Hennigan with a 64 and Bate also with a 64, so that's interesting. Storyline advances and gains heat. And next week we're going to see... I forgot to kind of put in a match graphic for next week, but I've put it into pre-booking, so it will hopefully up our TV ratings. We're going to see EC3 take on Tyler Bate in singles action, and we're going to see John Hennigan versus Kota Ibushi. So two hopefully really good matches. But EC3 and Tyler Bate both improve in Rumble. So C plus 67, as I said, is not bad at all, considering I think Trent is a mid-carder. Tyler's is an upper mid-carder. He's doing quite well. These two are main eventers. So, yeah, I'm not going to complain with that. Next segment is our main event, and now that is a bit disappointing. I would have loved for it to be a bit higher. But Marty Scurll defeats Caristico in 13:44 by pinfall with a graduation. Hopefully the last segment is, you can save the show a bit. But Marty Scurll with a 55, Caristico with a 66, no worker improvements. These guys couldn't go all out for some reason. And Marty Scurll had poor stamina, which is something we're just going to have to build up over time. But we closed the show with a C64, so this show isn't going to be great, but it's still going to be good for where we're at. But Marty's picked up a huge win here tonight, and Impact closes with 4 of the 5 members of the front line. Obviously, Drew's not there tonight, celebrating in the ring. This faction's made a huge impact since they've debuted in February. Can anyone stop them? And the tag contenders storyline advances with this segment accidentally. Negatives, no negatives. So we end the show. I'm going to say probably a C plus 66. Oh, B plus. Okay, no, this show was pretty good. B minus 72 is not bad, considering that our main event was pretty much a 72. It was pretty much a B minus. Is not bad. I think that the Roppongi Vice and Motor City Machine Gun match is what gave us this. Let's not undo that accidentally. But anyway, so yeah, there's our show. No, I've fucked up this chair accidentally. What did you think about it? Comment below. Tell me, who you're enjoying, what storylines you're enjoying. If you've got any storyline ideas, I do see roster ideas. This roster is really packed at the minute, so if you do have ideas for storylines, that would be fantastic, because I probably can't sign too many people unless they're coming from like New Japan or WWE. Obviously, if like I get the opportunity to sign Kevin Owens, I'm not going to pass that up because our roster is slightly big. I'd be like, someone's just going to have to get less TV time. Same with like Tanahashi or Okada or Sami Zayn or Alexa Bliss or something. So don't kind of think of me as hypocritical for signing WWE people when I say I'm not going to be signing many people. It's, because you don't get the chance to sign these people apart from like 30 days every couple years. Storyline ideas would be awesome. And also, do you want to see different kind of content from my channel, such as movie reviews, or like, comic reviews, or game reviews, or pay-per-view reviews if I'd watched them. I didn't watch Battleground. I can't put myself through Battleground. Why the fuck is Great Khali back? Honestly. He can barely walk. He can legitimately barely walk. I just don't fucking know. That's why I'm watching the G1. But yeah. I've basically found out that at the cinema near my uni, on Mondays, I can get tickets for $8 for pretty much any movie. So yesterday I went and saw Homecoming for the second time. And it's even better the second time. The first 5 minutes I was kind of like, I feel I'm not going to enjoy this as much, but I loved it even more. Anyway, not relevant. I'm probably going to be watching more movies because I have time on a Monday after uni, because uni finishes at like 1. Anyway, I've been talking for a long time. This episode is probably going to be quite long, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Yeah, see you lads.